Hello, and welcome. My goodness, I need a new intro. So, ladies and gentlemen, sonic93 has done it. Well, practically. She didn't respond to Dunsville's video exactly. She only talked about a small bit of it, little to say, a small portion. But of course, there are some issues that I want to give my thought on the matter. When I was watching this video, there was a lot of miscommunication and issues that I want to enlighten on this event. While I think it is still ungracious for her to still do the video, but I will give credit where credit is due for not entirely doing the Dunsville video. Neat. Now, before I go any further, I will say this, and I will always say this. Please do not go and harass anybody who is mentioned in the video. I do not condone actions such as witch hunt, bullying, and influence such a thing. Now that being said, let's get right into the video. Wonderful.
Hello everyone, this is sonic93 here with some more videos regarding the drama last year and the drama of the present, which I honestly think is even worse than the last one. Anyways, before I go any further, let me just clarify one thing that people are extremely confused about and the things people have been keep asking me about on my Discord. That one being, why did you arrive this drama? I thought you learned your lesson from it, only to be shown that you haven't, then going against the people who talked about you and seeing them as trolls/haters, when all they were trying to do is to help you. Well, to sum it up what I said in my Melody Sugar Plum video, after seeing what she did to other people by harassing them with her hateful opinion towards Silver, it inspired me to talk about the drama again to justify what I said in my original video. My main problem with Melody's points wasn't the fact that she wanted to criticize him or it was a different opinion from mine. The problem I had was that she sounded more hateful to him rather than a huge fan, just pointing out things she didn't like about him. Not to mention that she was incredibly unfair with the things she stated.
So, right off the bat, I already have my first issue. Now, there is nothing wrong with calling people out on their wicked behavior. However, the part when sonic93 says, justifying myself, is incorrect. And the reason why I say it's incorrect is because in your original video, you were screaming at Melody Sugar Plum for having an opinion over a fictional character. That is unethical. It's not morally correct. It is something that you cannot change because that is a fact from your past that is permanent.
And I have heard some people believing that she changed her mind about Silver because of me. Well, where is the proof of that statement? She herself has said that she started to hate Silver when she got to know his personality from the games. I don't see her saying anything about hating him because of me, and the comment is not too far after I made a remake video on her. And even if that was true, does that give her a reason to harass other people over it?
May I ask who told you this statement? It is quite unfortunate you don't say who told you this statement. But anyways, to me, there is no point of talking about this statement.
Not only that, but just because the drama died out, that doesn't mean it got solved. Yes, while everyone were willing to move on from it after I apologized, I myself wasn't able to because I didn't have the voice to speak and defend myself or the support I needed back when it started. You can't just expect me to move on from it while I was the one whom got the most affected by it and no one was interested to hear my side of the story.
What are you talking about, sonic93? Of course it got solved. Allow me to elaborate then. You cyberbully Melody Sugar Plum over a fictional character. There you go. Gave you the answer. Now, about your apology video. You never really did apologize for what you did, except the part that you only apologized to the unfortunate backlash that Melody received. And after that, we expected you to move on. Now we know that you didn't.
After all, it is my drama, so I have every right to talk about it. And no one is obligated to pay attention to what I have to say or agree with what I'm doing. But there's no reason for anyone to tell me what to do and not to do just because you don't agree with my decisions. This is something I need to do in order to move on from what happened almost 2 years ago, and I won't stop until I finished what I started.
True, this is your drama. A year-old drama.
And as I have understood, people are concerned that my recent videos are going to quote-unquote ruin my career and reputation, and I'm just digging my own grave. Well, you see, I don't really care about the popularity and the fame, nor am I making any money out of my videos. My videos are just for fun and laughs. Nothing to do with fame and reputation.
And yet, you blame Dunsville for ruining your reputation. How unconventional. Your binary statements do not fit into one's keen.
Other than that, people don't really find me that interesting. And I'm not saying it out of pity or craving for attention, but I just legit don't understand why people are treating me like I mean a lot to them, and yet they don't want to hear what I have to say and automatically think I'm a crazy person just because your favorite YouTuber said so?
I don't know if you know this, sonic93, but people have given you the title of the mother of the ranting community. I do not speak for everybody, but the reason why you have been given that title because you were one of among the first ranters to ever appear on YouTube. Don't know if that's true or not, that's just the way how I think. And you were one of the great ranters, at least at the time, before, other ranters started popping out, such as Spocter, the names Junkie, Icy Hazard, Solar Sands, Stories, Pentagram, so on and so forth, those who came before you. Now, about your other issue, no, I do not think you're crazy, except for those who may have feeble minds. Maybe they think you're crazy, but I don't think you're crazy. You're just a person that's just making mistakes, that's all.
And the fact that the negative attention I received from my Aldo Gijinka commentary video doesn't matter to me because the videos are in no intent to entertain anyone. This is just a way for me to vent and talk about my thoughts about each videos made on me. And this just shows of how people are not attentive in what I'm saying or easily misinterpret it as something else. Which is why I keep getting the same criticisms that really doesn't say anything what I said in my videos or speak for my actions. Not only that, but a lot of the people are not even my audience and just arrived because it's a convenient event of, oh my god, Sonic93 is doing something horrible! The one who is famous for her Kai and Yoshi rants have become the one she ranted about!
It is an observation that you have negative feedback in your previous video, not a fact. The reason is that it's because people were giving you constructive criticism and you're not responding to that. Not responding to valid or constructive criticism is a horrible thing to do because then it will show the type of person you are. You are only responding to positive comments in your comment session. So yes, there is a reason why your previous video has so much negativity, and I honestly don't blame them because in the situation you are responding to a video that for the whole purpose is that to call you out for cyberbullying. That's the whole point about the video, is to call out on your behavior. Also, when you upload a video, people know you as a ranter. They're gonna find entertainment on anything that is a mini rant series. After all, that's what people came in your channel to watch. It is entertainment to them. You may say it's not, but to them it is.
Now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about the second video that did not make my situation any easier from the drama. The one and only, none other than Dunsville.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
I will say this right here, right now. This video is not to harass him, make him look bad, make lies about him, or me throwing out everything he was trying to do for me after I apologized. This is just me basically saying my thoughts and opinions of his video on me and the things I felt like he was saying that was very off. Besides, how can everyone feel entitled to make many videos of me for the sake of criticism, but I can't do the same thing in return? How is that fair? Like, it doesn't matter how well liked a person is. It doesn't mean they can't be criticized. Like everyone else, the famous person is still a human being and can and will make mistakes. And that is what I felt Dunsville did to me.
Well, yes, you can. I said it before to you, Sonic93. No one is stopping you, even though I recommend you not to, but the choice is yours to make, no one else's. Just don't be surprised of the outcome.
He may have good intentions with his video on me, but the way he handled the situation after Aldwin's video came out, and how he always told me that I had his support after I apologized, he honestly let me down a lot as a YouTuber, and I can't help but feel disappointed in him.
Now, I will admit it was Dunsville's mistake for not watching the entirety of the video. However, he apologized in the DMs with you, Sonic93, and apologizing is the most honest thing that a man can do, and I respect him for that. Also, I disagree with you. He did everything in his power to help you. That is not something that you experience as a YouTuber every day. Like, for example, when I was making the interview with Jane, I was filled with nostalgia when she told me that, is it okay if I can show this to my Discord server? And I said, that would be awesome.
And before I will go in details of why I think that, I really need to address something I've noticed. The whole situation with Dunsville really takes me back the time where Kai had a lot of fan brats before me and Amy ranted on her. Basically, if you're pointing out something you feel someone popular does wrong, you're immediately wrong and gonna get attacked for it despite you just calling out on their bullshit.
That entirely depends on the degree of what an individual has done. Someone is not going to get attacked for their mistakes. It is unethical to commit such act to another. You have to do something very wicked to get such negativity.
Not to mention that we were trying as much as we could clarify that we never hated Akai and just wanted her to improve her attitude and give her criticism on her behavior and her artwork.
Akai likes to be called Jane now, Sonic93. Jane has improved for herself and for those who were around her and those who were close to her. She has accepted her mistakes from the past and learned from those mistakes to make good fortune. She has achieved what you didn't, and that is change.
And I am not saying that it's the exact same situation with Dunsville, but I legit don't understand what the big deal is for me doing something that everyone else is doing. Just saying my thoughts and opinions.
And there's nothing wrong about that. I only ask if you think carefully and rationally. But who am I, right? I cannot teach anyone anything. I could only make you think.
So, you might wonder now why I feel disappointed in Dunsville. Well, mainly because of how he handles different situations and him as a YouTuber himself.
Citation needed. You don't give any examples on how he handles different situations and him as a YouTuber.
And just to clarify one thing, everything Dunsville feels about this whole drama, I can't understand that, and he's entitled to feel whatever he feels. My issue, however, about it is that Dunsville is too caught up with what he feels and has no interest in hearing me out, like in our Discord conversation or the call we've had back in December.
Dunsville was in an emotional state. People were telling him information about you, Sonic93. He believed you were collecting fake information about him. I proved that to be false with my refutation. The private call you had with Dunsville was nowhere to be found on YouTube because it was a private call, and even if it wasn't, it's still nowhere to be found on YouTube. That's why I did the interview with Dunsville to ask him what happened in that event, and also to see if he was okay.
I can understand that he's confused and shocked, but at the same time, as I said in our Discord conversation, I don't understand why he's so surprised when I have already established it in my Mellow Sugar Plum video, where I have stated like maybe 3 times that I was gonna make a video on him, including the other ones. And before you might say, oh well, maybe they didn't watch the whole video to get to that part, or they didn't watch it at all. That would have been fine if he didn't comment on it and said he liked the video. I honestly think it's really stupid and misleading to give a comment to something you haven't even seen the whole thing of. It was literally around 7 minutes in when I mentioned the first time I was going to cover up his video on me. And according to him, he said he was trying to be supportive. I don't see how you're being supportive when you comment on something you haven't even seen the whole thing of. Once again, I find that very stupid and misleading.
He apologized to you when he made the mistake. Likewise, he was being supportive. No surprise coming from a person who admires you. Now granted, I will admit that it was his mistake for not watching the entirety of the video. However, this point is not necessary because he already apologized to you, especially during the time that he DM'd you.
And a quick question. Shouldn't you find it suspicious that someone you quote-unquote called out on is talking about the same topic you covered up already, claiming I was doing something wrong? I find that being quote-unquote supportive of that very inconsistent and illogical, especially when you go against me because I want to talk about your video.
That depends which video you're talking about. Are you talking about the past or the present? If you're talking about the past, that was before he knew you personally, Sonic93. And if you're talking about the present, which is the recent video that he made on you, he cut ties with you, so he has every right to make that video.
As I understood, the reason he feels what he feels is because he thought we were close friends, and I basically quote-unquote haven't moved on from the drama, and I was planning to do this all along and backstabbed him.
Dunsville was just expressing how he feels towards you, Sonic93. There is nothing wrong with that. Now, you two were close friends according to Dunsville. Nothing like a soul bond, but close friends. To me, this is entirely up to you, the viewers, if you wanted to decide if they were close friends or not. This is entirely subjective. Now, the part when you said you planned this all along. Well, in my interview with Dunsville, something surprisingly told me that someone told Dunsville that Sonic93 was planning to make a video on him all along.
It's weird because I don't want to talk for anybody and I don't want to reveal anybody, but there is someone who I'm a friend of. I don't know if she wants me to reveal herself or not. I know she's discussed this before. Mm-hmm. She is a YouTuber. I'm not going to discuss who it was, but she talked to Sonic93, mm-hmm. and Ruth told her not to tell me that she's making a video on me, which I think is extra shady. That's something and I don't want to perpetuate a rumor. I only talk about what I hear. I don't want to say that if I am wrong, you can take this with a grain of salt.
Now, I am not going to reveal who it was that told this to Dunsville. But Sonic93, you told someone else other than Dunsville, a close friend of yours, that you were going to do a video on him. That's a bit low and shady. Almost gives me the reason why I should not trust you.
Which he kinda is right about. Me wasn't able to move on from the drama, and that is why these videos are made to begin with. That way I can give myself a closure and move on from what happened almost 2 years ago when the first drama started. And I never quote-unquote planned to do this all along throughout the time we were talking. I can literally explain everything to him if he actually wanted to hear me out, but like I said, he's too caught up with his own emotions.
If you're not going to tell Dunsville, at least tell the viewers what the hell is going on. External materials enriches the lore. If you're not going to elaborate on the statements that you are saying, I'm going to find it hard and very difficult for me to believe it.
And about us being quote-unquote close friends, as everyone keeps saying, we weren't. We weren't as close friends as it seemed like. Once again, I'm not taking anything away he was trying to do for me, but I don't see how he thought we were so close when we barely talked. I mean, yeah, he's busy with college and stuff, I get it. But when we did, I didn't feel like we got to know each other as individuals outside of our YouTube usernames. I always keep hearing that Dunsville's behavior on YouTube is just a persona and he's different in person. But I have talked to him a few times, and I sincerely don't sense any differences. The impression he has given to me is that, is he genuine and caring, or is he an arrogant douchebag?
This is entirely up to the viewers' opinions and thinking. If you want my opinion in the matter, this is how I think of Dunsville after speaking to him on the interview. I think Dunsville is an honest, kind, and a man who cares about himself and others who are close to him. That's how I truly think about him.
And I'm not saying that's the truth about him, but that's just the impression he has given me. With other words, Dumbsville confuses me so much about what kind of person he is. I honestly can't read him.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you don't understand doesn't mean that you don't know. And just because you know doesn't mean that you will fully understand. That's normal. But the way how you are putting it makes it seem that you have a problem with it. But you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you.
And there is one thing that truly bothers me the most that I've heard so many times of is this Dumbsville cared about you and he looked up to you. Okay, I'm not gonna say he doesn't, but here's my few questions about that statement.
Very well. I guess I'll try to elaborate on these questions in the best way of my ability as possible.
If Dumbsville truly cared about me, why didn't he try to reach to me when the drama occurred the first time?
He probably didn't reach out to you because he was a very shy person. If you did not know this, sonic93, that Dumbsville is an introvert, a shy person, but with conditions, of course. They don't really engage into, conversations or with other people to socialize that much. When an introvert does socialize, it's usually very draining to them that they can even get exhausted from it. So imagine trying to seek out attention while you're an introvert. It's kind of make it very difficult for them. So imagine the experience of when Dumbsville went through after he noticed that you commented on his video. I could only experience how he felt. So yeah, there's your answer.
Why doesn't he show any interest in what's going on my side?
Dumbsville thought that you redeemed yourself. That's why he didn't ask you any questions about it. I could be wrong, but this is just my hypothetical answer.
Why did he make a video whining to his fans about the conversation between us?
He is allowed to express his feelings. If he wants to vent, let him vent. His emotions, his audience, his choice. Simple as that.
Why couldn't he want to talk to me again after he calmed down from the news of me gonna make this video? Since he was the one who cut ties with me.
Dumbsville has an audience and a channel to entertain. Plus, he didn't want this drama to drag him down, so he did the most reasonable choice and moved on. Likewise, he cut ties with you, Sonic93. There's also that. You said it yourself.
How is making the Let's Talk About Sonic93 video gonna solve anything?
The whole entire point of Dumbsville's recent video about you is to elaborate why he cut ties with you. That was the important part of Dumbsville's video.
Why is he so quick to believe that I want to hurt his feelings when I had told him in the call that this isn't about him, this is about me when it comes to this video?
Because the video that you are covering is about him. The situation involves him specifically. Dumbsville has feelings too, Sonic93. Do not pretend that he doesn't.
This is what I mean when I say I feel disappointed in him. He doesn't handle these kind of situations very well, and he comes off as extremely defensive and incredibly sensitive. I can't understand if Dumbs is a sensitive person, but you can't be a YouTuber, have 40k plus subs, and then not expect something like this to happen. You're not gonna always be liked for everything you do just because you get endless or at least constant praise. Once again, I get flashbacks of when Akai was having a similar attitude with her fame.
Well, it's your opinion. I don't know if he does come out as very sensitive, but defensive, he does it in a way where it's fair and doesn't do any double standard. You, however, Sonic93, you come out as pretty defensive and sensitive. For defensive, you will find any gap closer in an argument or a statement, and sensitive for not responding to valid criticism. No wonder people are saying pot meet kettle.
So, now that I said my short piece perspective of the whole Dumbsville situation, let's talk about his video. I will say that his video was much more bearable to watch than Alduin's. With her video, I barely survived without her lame, offensive jokes and that awful attitude. And I don't have much to say about his video since he doesn't really go in details of my original Melody video, since he did claim he couldn't find the actual video to make his own judgment and basically had only Alduin's video to go for. He mainly just talks about how me and Amy became popular and he wants us to make more rants, which I can understand that because he probably felt us making rant videos was our audience and my quote-unquote downfall. So what I'm gonna do is just say one subjective opinion and two things that really bothered me the most of what he said. So let's start with the subjective opinion, and that is Domsville's excessive intro. So, after a long intro, he goes on about how sad he is and how he didn't want to make the video. That right there is pissing me off because he literally didn't need to make his video on me. He could have just talked to me, or at the very least trying to reach me out. And what is his reasons for not trying to reach me? He couldn't find a way to do that, and he wouldn't be comfortable to talk to me. I'll get more on that, how that is complete BS, later on his video. Okay, Domsville, you did say I was one of your favorite Sonic YouTubers, right? Mainly because of my rants, obviously. So, do you remember in my Kydelia rant series, I was actually trying to talk to her about her attitude and her hate for Amy Rose before I made the series on her? I didn't give two shits of how popular she was. I saw what I felt she did was wrong, and I wanted to confront her about it. And when she didn't cooperate, then I made the rant series. If you did try to reach to me and then didn't succeed, then I would have found your video on me more reasonable to be made.
Domsville wanted to contact you privately. There was a system in YouTube called YouTube Messenger. However, the mechanic of this was very unworkable, and it was very confusing how exactly it worked. In my experience, that is. Thus, later down the line, YouTube removed it from its platform. So, there was no possible way Domsville could contact you privately. So, there's a reason for it. Plus, Domsville wanted to contact you privately in the most genuine way as possible. YouTube's comment section is not a genuine way to do so.
Now, going back to why I feel him saying he couldn't find a way to contact me or he would be uncomfortable to talk to me is complete BS. These two clips I'm going to show you right now is saying to me the opposite of him couldn't find at least one way to contact me, and the other one of the whole, I wouldn't be uncomfortable talking to you.
This woman inspired you. This was your senpai. This is your senpai. Remember when sonic93 commented on your video, your True Love Part 2 video? That was an epic Fortnite win. For real, that was like a moment where I was freaking out. That was one of the happiest moments for me. Seeing a YouTuber you look up to comment on your video. This is a person who has inspired me. This is a person who I look up to, for real. I would often dream of collaborating with this person. No joke, I'm serious right now. I've talked to her in the comments before. She's a genuinely cool person. She's super sweet and super nice. Sonic93, if you're watching this, I'd be down to collab.
Alright, Domsville, I need to ask you this, because this doesn't add up at all. You said in our Discord conversation that you couldn't find a way to contact me and you wouldn't be comfortable to talk to me. But you literally could respond to that comment I made of your True Love 94 video and just say something like, hey Sonic93, I've heard some drama going on with you, and is it alright if we talk about this? I've been hearing some things about it, and I want to help you. That's what Nani did. She may have made a video on me, but the reason I was comfortable to talk to her was because she legit offered to help me, and I would have went for it if I wasn't encouraged. Also, you never clarified on why you would be uncomfortable to talk to me. Why would you feel uncomfortable to talk to someone who inspired you, like you always keep mentioning? I was your senpai. Me commenting on one of your videos was one of your happiest moments, and you were freaking out about it. And I'm a genuinely cool person, super sweet and super nice. Not to mention that after I apologized, you then decided to want to talk to me. So, you think making a video about me is better than to reach me out, or at least try to reach me before making the video. Not only that, but you're completely fine with the idea of collaborating with me, but you can't talk to me directly about something you feel I did something wrong? What the fuck?
Domsville was most likely freaking out. because it was his first experience. And like I said before, the comic session is not a genuine way to do so privately. Likewise, Dunsville didn't know you personally back then, Sonic93. It's not his fault. There is no right answer. Also, he said, I'll be down to collab during the time when he didn't know you personally. So there's no reason to... Why is this point even here? Both of you didn't even know each other personally.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, people. I thought this video was gonna be longer, but honestly, I'm glad it wasn't.
And yes, I will do agree that the duration of your response is not that so extensive. Otherwise, the entire situation would have been a flaming hurricane again.
Dunsville's video wasn't that important to make a commentary of, and he was more expressing his opinions of my videos that aren't rants and just basically said at the end, don't be crazy fan or whatever.
The entire point of Dunsville's video is not to overly obsess with a fictional character. And you completely missed it. You completely missed the entire point of Dunsville's video, which proves that you haven't learned anything at all. How dramatically disappointing. So, what are my final thoughts about the video? Well, despite the fact that she's not addressing the actions of Super Sprite, it kind of seems to me that Sonic93 needs to improve as a person. This video is completely unnecessary because half of the questions has already been solved by previous videos. In the end of the day, she still doesn't understand what was the whole point of the video. To her, it doesn't really matter because all she cares about is her closure. And to be honest, her closure is kind of a joke. She sacrificed everything that she had, her reputation, 3 of her friends, and who she was. Regardless if she does care about her reputation or not, it just shows the type of person she is and what she has become. So, what have we learned today? Well, let's start with the first one. Do not overly obsess with a fictional character. Learn from your mistakes. Do not scream at minors while you're an adult. And be rational with your arguments. And Dunsville, if you're watching this, I'm very sorry that the person who you look up to is no longer the person who you thought. The impediment of action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. But remember, always think about those who do care about you, not those who despise you. What I'm trying to say is that if you have courtesy, dignity, fairness, accurately, sincerely, honesty, you will have every aspect that you need to become a better person. And I wish you good luck on your future presentations. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first response video. Tell me in the comment section, did I do well? Did I do horrible? Or did I do decent? Please, your feedback is most appreciated. I hope everybody has enjoyed the video. Please, keep on shining.